Okay, agenda item number 21. I'm conscious of time. We've got interviews. Oh no, I don't have to go to 4:30. Council engagements for December 2012. Now I've heard it said a few times and I see it here. So our last council meeting for the year will be Tuesday the 11th, which is only 2 weeks away. Is that enough time for you guys to prepare?
The agenda is already written.
Okay, cool. I haven't seen it. Okay, so council engagements, if you could look through that list. TT board, we've even got Councillor Henderson here. That's the normal date. Can be cancelled if you don't have agenda items or whatever. Taupo, yep, sorry?
Mr Chairman, we talked this morning about a workshop on the morning of the Tuesday.
Yes. At 10 o'clock for 1 hour. It was called the E-workshop.
It was called the E-workshop, and I guess one of the questions is do you all want to go ahead with that workshop, or do you feel that you've done sufficient?
And just to extrapolate to everybody what it was, we had a workshop here this morning about our annual plan for next year, which is about trying to find more efficiencies, etc., without reducing services, what have you. And we had a very good presentation from staff this morning as to where we spend our money, what we spend our money on, what services we do, etc., etc. And that was a final workshop that we talked about this morning, because if you can come up with anything at that workshop, that's fine. But from there, you will be presented with the draft annual plan, which will be made, developed, built by the staff from that workshop into February. So that workshop we signalled for the morning of Tuesday the 4th. Bearing in mind there was a TT board meeting at 1 to 4, Mr McLeod assured us it would only be an hour and a half long workshop at the most. Happy with that, Councillor Williams?
Yes, I would. I would really like to see us proceed with that. And one thing I found difficult this morning is I forgot to bring I had printed them out, but I forgot to bring Mr Manhennet's email sheets along with me that he sent us with regards to the overheads budgets, and I'd like to have a closer look at those before we give the go ahead.
So if anybody thinks it's going to take a little bit longer than an hour and a half, would it be more prudent to make it a 9:30 start? But I'm very conscious of getting Kirsty in from Mangakino and what have you with families, but if we left it at 10, we would have to finish it by 12 to allow the Turangi councillors to get back to their end of the lake and have their TT board meeting.
I think we should make it 9:30.
So it's 10 o'clock Tuesday morning, the E-workshop. Efficiencies, economy. Councillor Williams?
Well, I would suggest that we make it 9:30 because it's an important one.
Yeah, I'm worried about...
That's all right.
Can you make 9:30 okay?
Yep.
Okay, well, if the Turangi guys are happy with 9:30, everybody else happy with 9:30?
An apology.
Oh, you did too, you've already done that, yeah. So, okay, look, we'll make it 9:30. If it only lasts an hour, that's good. If it lasts 2.5 hours, 12 o'clock will be finished. Till our, as I said. So, that goes in there. Taupo Airport Authority is moving its time slightly, 10:30 to 12, because we have got Father Christmas at Hooker Village with the older people. Workshop, Department of Conservation, is that still on, Ms McLeod? This Department of Conservation Fishery Review report back Tuesday the 11th.
Is Mrs Jakes? Oh, I'm sorry, not too sure.
To be advised. I heard enough today, didn't I? Okay, we don't know about that. Council meeting is Tuesday the 11th. Are there any further meetings that we need to have noted, Councillor Williams?
Yes, I'm not. I had thought that we'd be able to have the finance and audit workshop in November. I just would really hope that it doesn't get delayed till February, that we will.
Well, isn't that all about when we can get this gentleman that you wanted?
We're actually calling it a financial feasibility study because if we use the word workshop, then it's open to the public, and we wanted to keep it shut. We've been out to councillors to ask them what they want covered, and we've had bits and pieces, and also what the availability is, because Phil Jones is now saying he needs a whole day, not just part of a day. And we are working with Phil Jones as to, because of the tight nature of his diary, to see what options we have as far as dates are concerned. So that's really, we're really at his disposal, I suppose, as much as anything, because we can't say, yes, we want it on X day, and he's already got a fairly...
So has he given you any options yet?
No.
So as soon as you get some options from Mr Jones, can you put them through the computer?
Certainly.
And I would venture to say on behalf of my councillors that if it could be a Tuesday's great, because we normally make ourselves available Tuesdays.
Well, as I say, it depends on his diary.
Tuesdays
Yeah, but we're also the paymaster, so if he could jump a little bit because we're paying the bills, would be great.
25th of December is a Tuesday.
Yeah, I don't think I could make it that day. My grandkids might like it. So anyway, after that little bit of humour, is there anything more we can add to this? So, and it also provides the opportunity for council to approve either prior or retrospective council attendance to conferences. Solga Benchmarking Consultation Forum, Tuesday the 4th of December. That's why Councillor Kirk wishes to attend that. So the meetings and Councillor Kirk's attendance at that Solgam Benchmarking Consultation Forum. Move, please. Councillor Downard, second. Councillor Johnson, all those in favour? Aye. Right. Meeting schedule for next year. Thank you. Second, all in favour? Aye. Members' reports. Was he here? We already workshopped. For those that think we're not paying attention, it has been workshopped, so that's a... Okay, so I'll start with meetings. Councillor Mincher has left me, members' reports has left me a list here. He wished it to be recorded that he attended Taupo Sports, what's it, council meeting. 2, he presented grants to individual and team sports people with Mike Downard on behalf of council through the Sports Council, and he attended workshops and council meetings. Thank you. And I'll move now to Councillor Heckel.
I also attended the Sport Waikato presentation at the Great Lakes Centre. It's just really tremendous to see all these young sporting people getting up on stage and, you know, speaking real confidently. I was at the Regional Transport Committee meeting yesterday. I'll put the report in the council office or committee.
Thank you, Councillor Hickling. Councillor Williams?
I attended, along with Councillor Kepper and Maggie from Turangi on Friday the 16th of November, the Zone 2 meeting at the fantastic new South Waikato Sports and Events Centre in Taupo-Kaingaroa, which was most impressive. The agenda items included a very interesting presentation by Jade whai regarding the Taupo-Kaingaroa youth trials, which seem to be following a similar course to the Mayor's Task Force for Jobs. They're working with young people, providing hubs for them to gain employment. And I have to say a very, very impressive presentation with, obviously, like, they seem to be having quite a bit of success with youth in Taupo-Kaingaroa. We heard quite a lot of whinging from, or dissatisfaction from elected members to the presentation by John Harrington of the Remuneration Authority, principally over what they saw as total unfairness of mileage with regards to reimbursement of travel expenses for councillors who had to travel a distance. And so there was quite a debate about that, and the Remuneration Authority has been asked to review the travel expenses, which they think are inequitable. There was a presentation from the public libraries, which was interesting, and a fantastic presentation by Glenn Waller, who's the manager of the Waikato River Trails. And of course it was the week following the Taniwha event where they got 800 people for a brand new event, and it was by all accounts fantastic. And there was the alcohol reform bill, and that sounds quite challenging. And then lastly, Lawrence Yule spoke and he said that now they're very, very pleased with their new CEO, I forget his name, Malcolm, yeah, he's really performing brilliantly and forging really positive relationships with government ministers and key really developing his networks, and they're really going to have a push to raise the profile of local government and throughout New Zealand and push back on central government with regards to funding shortages and what they consider to be core services that governments should be delivering but local governments having to pick up. And yeah, really just getting a lot more proactive, because I don't really think they have been from what I've seen, and they're about to change their spots and really start representing their members in a far more proactive way. So that's me.
Thank you. Councillor Henderson?
Yeah, just as usual, my diary is available with Governance Manager if anyone's scrupulous but needs updating, so it'll be a couple of days.
Councillor Downard? Councillor Freeman?
Yeah, just the big one was the opening of this marae, and thank you to everyone that came, that was able to come, and yeah, we had 2 fabulous ceremonies. So, yeah.
You should be a very, very proud councillor on the day that they opened this beautiful facility, I think. And I know you fought hard for your community with whatever you could get council to help with. So to you too, congratulations for this beautiful facility in your part of the world.
Thank you.
Councillor Kirk?
On the 9th of November, I attended the Taupo District Sports Awards as a guest of Mighty River Power, and like Councillor Hickling, found it a very enlightening evening, and yeah, felt very proud of all the children and think I need to start getting my children to sport 5 days a week to catch up. On the 11th, I welcomed the delegates of the Algam Conference to Taupo on behalf of the Mayor, who was away. On the 23rd, I attended on behalf of the Deputy Mayor and Chair of the Emergency Management Committee a ministerial briefing with the Minister of Conservation, Louise Upston, Doc Sue Tumu Te Hiuhiu on the situation at Tongariro and Ruapehu, which was great to have all those major stakeholders in one room working together. And yesterday, I attended a citizenship ceremony.
Councillor Johnson? Nothing to report. Okay, cool.
Excuse me, Your Worship, just one further matter. The next Zone 2 meeting's on the 15th of March at Matamata Taupo District Council.
Cool. And this Friday I've got training. Okay, cool. So thank you for those reports, team. And there's a suggested resolution that the reports from the members be received. And I'll have a mover, please. Councillor Johnson, Councillor Kirk, all in favour, say aye.